probably God is calling you to work in the area of human management, human development as an administrator, to be able to influence and help people to organize their lives, to set their lives in order, to help people to develop their lives. Maybe for you, you just love people. You love people. And you love people, you just want to hang around with people. It doesn't matter what their background is, what their color is, what they've been through. It doesn't matter. You just want to love them and be with them and help them out and just encourage them and just be there for them. And then you come face to face with racism. And you see how some other people just hate other people just because of their color. So, what? Like Martin Luther King Jr., you said, no, this cannot exist in my time. I'll put my life on the line. I'll do anything to stop this kind of discrimination, to stop this kind of inequality. Purpose, what you hate and what you love, is the intersection of what you hate and what you love. Maybe for you, you just love to read and you just love to study. You're curious. You love it. You love to read books. You love to fascinate your mind with concepts and philosophies and principles. You just love to figure out how things work. And you find yourself in an environment, you see people, they are just ignorant about everything about their life. They don't even know what their family tree looks like, what their grandfather did, or they don't know anything about their lives, their own personal life. They don't even know. They just know just enough to survive. And you discover that ignorance, my people perish because of lack of ignorance. You discover that it's important for you to teach people, help people. And you come to figure out that what you hate, ignorance, and what you love, knowledge, defines your purpose, why God created you, defines what you should be spending your life to do. And you have to narrow down to being an educator, to being a pastor, to being a teacher, to being whatever in any area that will dispel information, that will release information and dispel ignorance. I don't know what you love and what you hate, but what you love and what you hate is a clue to why you're here. What you love and what you hate is a clue to why you're here. Maybe you just love people and you cannot figure out why people are homeless. Why should some people in the same country, in the same community, some they have maybe a mansion of $1 million, and down the street, 2 miles, 10 miles away, there are people who don't have 10 square foot of space that they can lay their head on. You're like, this is unfair. Something is wrong. Something has to be done. And that is your purpose calling for you. What you love and what you hate. Create the intersection of your purpose. Create an intersection that helps to define what your purpose is. This was the case with Moses. Moses loved his people, the Jews. He loved the Israelites. He loved them with everything. He was growing in the palace. See, even in the palace, he had everything, but he was not satisfied. He was not complacent. He was not content. Well, probably he was. But he was filled with love for his people, for the Israelites. And he had to take a step forward and begin to defend the Israelites. And because of his love, he hated the oppression of his people. He hated that his people were in captivity, in bondage to the Egyptians in those days. And so Moses, he got up and started to fight. And you see, when you do it without God, no matter how smart you are, you always miss some specific things. You always miss some key things. And Moses went out to fight, and when he started without God, he killed people. He killed somebody. So you need to bring God into the equation, just like Esther did. Esther brought God into the equation. When you bring God into the equation, it doesn't matter. God will fight for you. So Moses brought God into the equation. He spent 40 years and brought God into the equation. After he brought God into the equation, God went with him to Egypt, and he delivered the people of the Israelites. What you love and what you hate. What is it that you love? What is it that you hate? The two gives an intersection that defines what God created you to accomplish with your life. What do you love? What do you hate? What wakes you? What bugs you? What are you passionate about? Because your purpose is very powerful. It has the power to keep you alive in difficult situations, in hopeless situations, in situations that nobody in their right mind without purpose will survive it. Viktor Frankl was a Jew. He was in Germany during the German Nazism, during the killing of the Jews in concentration camps. And he was arrested and put in a concentration camp. He wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. He was arrested and put in a concentration camp together with millions of other Jews. He was in the Auschwitz camp. And in the camp, he decided to begin to study because he saw that out of every 25 people, one would survive. These people who were put in camps, these Jews who were put in camps by the Nazi government, by Hitler, they were treated inhumanely. They were refused food. They were refused anything that would sustain them, refused water. They became thin, pale, anemic, weak. Most of them died. Viktor Frankl wanted to find out why. What was the reason behind the survival of the one among 25? And he began to interview those who were able to survive the cruel treatment, the pain, the frustration, the captivity, the oppression over their lives, the inhumane treatment. He began to question them. He found out that those who had a meaning for life survived. Those who were able to survive during that time were those who had a meaning for their lives. They had a bigger purpose. They were looking at something bigger than that, the present circumstance in which they found themselves in. For Viktor Frankl, of course, he survived to write the story. He saw families crushed to death in front of him. But he saw he would sit with people today and tomorrow they're dead, they're killed. But in the midst of that, what was the one major ingredient of all those who survived? That was his study. In his mind, he said, I want to become a psychology professor to teach people what the concentration camp looked like. I want to become a psychologist. That was his purpose. He said, I want to survive it. I won't die. I will live after this. To tell people how the concentration camp looked like. People died. But because he had purpose, he had a meaning for his life. That purpose survived him. That purpose kept him alive. I could tell us something much better, but I came to tell you this year about purpose. What can survive you? What can keep you strong and healthy despite any circumstance, despite any challenge? It's been proven. In this book it says, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. I don't know what suffering you might be facing right now. I don't know what pain you might be suffering right now. If you discover the purpose why you are alive, that suffering will cease. That suffering will have a meaning, will have a result, a benefit. There's nothing that you're suffering now that is not by design, that is not for your purpose. Romans Bible says that He makes all things work together for good. For those who love Him, who are the called according to His purpose. Purpose has power. I don't know what you're going through in your marriage, in your relationship. I don't know what it is. But if you can have purpose, you will stand strong. I don't know how your finances look, but if you can have purpose, nothing will stop you. I don't know the situation, the circumstance you find yourself today, right now. If you have purpose, you will rise up. You will walk strong. You'll be able to conquer. Purpose has power to hold you and sustain you in the midst of dire circumstances, in the midst of difficulties. Maybe you're struggling to shed off some extra weight on you. Well, hold on strong. Get a purpose. Hold tight on a purpose. It will happen. Amen. I don't know what is troubling you. I don't know how difficult things have been. I don't know the tears you've been crying. But I want you to know, if you have purpose, the king's decree cannot stop you. If you have purpose, racism cannot stop you. If you have purpose, injustice cannot stop you. If you have purpose, nothing can stop you. If you have purpose, Haman and his plot put together cannot assassinate you. If you have purpose, your life has meaning. Amen. Purpose. Purpose has power. Purpose is able to keep you when everything else is laying down flat. Purpose will enable you to stand when you are supposed to be lying down. Purpose will give you hope when there is no hope. Purpose will give you strength when you're weak inside. Purpose. Amen. Purpose. Amen. Purpose. Purpose is the intersection of what you love and what you hate. Purpose. Find your purpose. Discover your purpose. Your life depends on that. You can beat cancer if you know your purpose. You can beat sickness if you know your purpose. You can overcome suffering if you know your purpose. What is your purpose? You can if you know your purpose. What do you love to the point you are ready to die for? That was Esther. She said, I perish. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to lay down my life because this is my purpose. This is why I'm alive. This is why I'm alive. Love and hate, our strongest emotions, helps us to find our purpose. Love and hate, our strongest, most powerful emotions, are there to help us find out who we are, our uniqueness. You know what? Emotion, if you take out the E, is motion. You don't need to wait. Get in motion. Take action for your purpose. Take action towards your purpose. I want us this morning. What do you hate with all your being? Identify it. Research on it. What do you love and you're ready to die for? Identify it. Research it. What step or steps are you taking today to find what you love and what you hate? Write it down. Don't just let this message fly over your head. Write it down. Because this is a defining moment This is to help you live a life of purpose. I just gave you a secret to live longer. Purpose. Find out why you're here. Find out why God allows you here. Your purpose is that powerful. So I'd like us to bless God this very moment. Let's surrender to Him. Let's open our hearts to Him. Let's pour out ourselves to Him. Get ready to take action. To tell yourself, I am ready to carry out my purpose. Help me, God. Help me, God. Help me, God. I'm ready for my purpose. Help me, God. I'm ready for my purpose.